You're with Gabe Dean after his big victory at the NWCA. Can you take us through that match and your mindset leading up to it?
Mindset, just not thinking about the match too much, just going out and keeping it simple, just trying to get to your tags, have fun with it, and keep it a game, and not thinking about the rankings and all that stuff, just having a good time. But going in the match, through the first period, just wrestled out, got a takedown near the end there, finally got to a shot and finished. He's a real tough, explosive kid, athletic kid, and I knew he was definitely going to be tough to get to his leg, but just kept taking more and more attempts, and going into the second period, got another takedown right at the end, and third period, would have liked to get some more takedowns, and probably should have moved my hands a little bit more, but those are things to improve on, and I'll take back in the room for sure.
Nice. So you had a great year last year. Took down Ed Ruth, broke his win streak. Can you tell us a little bit about where it seems like you made a leap between high school and college.
In high school, I get asked this a lot just because I wasn't much in high school. I was a one-time state champ. I actually lost in the state finals my senior year. And, I think just the biggest thing for me was I was coming in the room every day my red shirt year, or my gray shirt year, and I was getting the crap kicked out of me by Cam Simons. And I actually went to my first tournament in the Buffalo Open. It doesn't exist anymore, but the Buffalo Open, and I went 0-2. And I was right on the verge of quitting wrestling, and I was like, this isn't for me. Maybe I'll sign up for the football team here at Cornell and play some football because I played football in high school. I called my dad up and I said, Dad, I'm thinking about quitting. He goes, you got to give it one more week, and if you still hate it, we'll talk. So after that, I was like, I come in the room and I was like, I'm gonna come into Monday's practice. I'm gonna come into the room, and Cam Simons is gonna kick the crap out of me again, and I'm gonna go to another tournament this weekend again. So if I'm gonna go 0-2 and I'm gonna get the crap kicked out of me every day, and this is a nice clean version that I'm putting in, and you know what? I'm gonna go down swinging, and I started fighting a lot more, and I still get the crap kicked out of me, but I kept coming back and coming back and coming at the guys that I was wrestling, and I ended up doing solid at the tournament that weekend, and it kind of started to snowball. Never won a tournament my gray shirt year. Did a lot of backside battling back for thirds and fourths and fifths and sixths, but then going into the next year, I stuck with that mentality, that fighting mentality, like keep coming forward, keep coming back. Even if you're getting down, you keep coming back. And Ed Ruth pinned me at the Binghamton Open at the beginning of the year, and I was like, I was still at, I was back to one of those low moments. It's crazy, we define ourselves by our decisions on our low moments. But came back from that, and I was like, I come into the scuffle, and I had an opportunity to wrestle again in the finals there, and I was like, you know what? He's gonna pin me, tech me, major me. I'm gonna fight him. And I'm gonna keep my pride. And we just ended up winning. And then just stop.
That was dominant.
Yeah. I was just coming out and trying to be aggressive and coming after him. I wasn't gonna give any breathing room because he's way more athletic than me and definitely more skillful than me. And but I knew the only way I could win was coming after him, getting in his face. So, and that's the only way I can win. I know I'm not a super freak by any means, so coming after guys, giving them no breathing room is my MO.
So, my next question is, you just told me you almost gave up wrestling your first year out of college, and you had for football, and in high school you gave up football for wrestling.
Yes.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been quite the journey, to be honest with you. I love football. All day today before this match, I was watching college football, and my little brother plays football, my little cousins play football, and I love watching them play. And listening to them on the radio all the way out in New York is a real treat to me. And my uncle's a head football coach. He coached me all the way through high school in football. So in our town, it's just a big football town, in Lowell. So, but I knew. I wasn't going to be the next Cam Newton. I wasn't going to be winning a national title in football. I just wasn't given. You need some gifts in football, and I wasn't given that. I wasn't 6'4" or 6'2" or whatever. But I knew in wrestling, it's all on me, and I can control my own destiny and the way I go about my daily activities and how I work in the room and how I push myself. So, and I wanted to be the best at what I did. So I knew wrestling was definitely the higher chance that happened. So I let football go and wrestling in college.
Which did you start doing first, football or wrestling as a kid?
Probably wrestling, but youth wrestling was a real terrible time for me. I never really had a ton of success in wrestling until I got to college. I got my face pushed in the mat thousands of times, and any little kids hearing this right now, stick with the sport. It helps you become a better person. It doesn't just help you in the sport. It helps you in your daily lives and improves your work ethic and things like that. And in youth wrestling, I was nothing, nothing special. I think I got beat probably 80% of the time and won 20% of the time. So, and again, I was one-time state champion in high school, lost in the state finals my senior year. So there was no glamour in wrestling until I finally got to college and made the mental decision.
So you gave up football, even though you're a better football player in high school?
Yeah, I was definitely a better football player in high school.
So what made you think that you were going to be a better wrestler in college? Because I love the story of peaking in college, like Pat Santoro, and this is a great story.
Yeah.
For all kids.
Yeah, and I try to, kids, it's easy to get down when you're young, and to be honest with you, football in high school, I was a lot better football player than I was a wrestler, for sure. But I knew I wasn't good. I couldn't, and relying on 10 other guys, and a whole team to become the best. But I like to put it as like life's all about risks, and you got to take risks in order to get to the top. I took a risk with wrestling in college, and thankfully, it paid off. And I've learned a lot about myself along the way and what kind of person I want to be. And you know what? It's always at the lowest moments. It's never when you win. It's never when the high moments. It's always when you're at your lowest moments. You decide how to define yourself and go about your everyday business. So.
All right, so you've kind of talked a little bit around what my last question is. You've wrestled almost your whole life, 3/4 of your life. What do you love about the sport, and how has it shaped your life?
Oh, man. It's so hard to say, but what I love about the sport is the fact that you build physically, but it's such a mental sport, and it's so much about your mentality, and it's just you and another guy in a circle, and the fans and the media and all that stuff. Those are all just distractions from, and you got to fight through that. I like the way wrestling it's designed, because as a young kid, you got to fight through, losing to, and it's all on you. You lose in football, you're like, oh, I had a great game, but the other 10 guys didn't play as well as me, so that's why we lost. But on wrestling, it's all on you, and it holds yourself accountable. It holds a person accountable for losing and anything that they did wrong. And you can take that in your life. When you're doing your schoolwork and you're doing. And you're hanging out with your family, it prioritizes and it holds you accountable, and you learn that, and that switches over to your everyday life. You don't do a homework assignment, you're penalized. You don't come into practice, you're penalized. And you don't see the results you want to see. So I like wrestling in that sense. It's definitely taught me, like I said, not just about the sport, but about my everyday and how I approach every day in my life.
I fibbed. I got a couple more questions. Goals. Can you talk about your near-term goals and long-term goals?
If I short-term goals are like winning a national title and winning a team national title and creating a legacy at Cornell. But there's already a legacy at Cornell, but just building on that legacy. And but if I were to say winning a national title is my long-term goal, then I would be really missing out on the whole meaning of life. Long-term goals are just like being a great father, a great husband, a great son, and being able to support my family and doing what I love to do, and watching my kids grow old and do the things that they love doing. So those are probably my long-term goals, and I'd be missing out a lot if I said winning a national title is my long-term goal.
Gotcha. Well, I just want to let you know you're one of true wrestling's favorite wrestlers. The mental toughness and the aggressiveness you bring is really, and peaking in college, I mean, so many kids can learn from that. I just want to thank you.
I'll tell you what, man, it's humbling to hear that. It means a lot to me. And thank you for all that you guys do for the sport. I really appreciate it.
All right.